Buying property in your home country can be tricky enough, but navigating the property market and ultimately moving into your dream home abroad is another thing altogether. Language barriers, unfamiliar processes, and not knowing where to begin can wreak havoc with your purchasing plans. So you're in the right place. We're going to provide you with an easy step-by-step guide to the legal processes of buying a property in Portugal. Hi there, my name is Amy and I'm a buyer's agent at Goldcrest, the independent property buying service in Portugal. At Goldcrest, you the buyer are our primary concern, not the seller, and we will always negotiate the best possible deal for you, ensuring that you have the latest market intelligence and innovative valuation methods to make an informed decision. So, first things first, before we jump into the topic at hand, if you are considering buying a property in Portugal, we highly recommend having a lawyer by your side to help with the buying process. The process of buying a property in Portugal will be different from that of your home country, and even if you think you're prepared to tackle everything on your own, a good lawyer, an advogado in Portuguese, who specialises in property law will be a godsend. An experienced lawyer will be able to oversee and help arrange the entire buying process and make the process as smooth as it can possibly be. So with that, let's jump right in. The first step to buying a property in Portugal is to plan effectively. Do your research and scout out potential places where you think you'd like to live or buy a property. When you've narrowed down a few areas, take a trip to Portugal to discover the neighbourhood or area firsthand. It's good to have some idea of how much you want to spend on the property and how you're going to finance the buy, including the property taxes and the fees that you'll be required to pay. When you believe that you found the perfect place, schedule a viewing, as many as possible. Speak with neighbours and visit the area both in daytime and nighttime. Yes, places can have a very different feel depending on what time of day you visit. And when you've negotiated with the seller for the best possible price, this is when the legal process comes into play. One important aspect of buying a property that cannot be overstated is the due diligence. This is when the property is assessed to ensure that everything is in order, and the real estate agent will check that everything is correct, that there are no outstanding debts, and that the bank financing and the 10-year insurance have been secured. Due diligence will need to be carried out when you are in the final steps of the buying process. After this, your lawyer can check the accuracy of the legal documents and the seller themselves. They'll analyse licensing matters, ownership, and the like. Particularly if you do not speak Portuguese, a lawyer is invaluable and will be able to uncover any unreasonable conditions or red flags that may otherwise be missed. A structural surveyor is also recommended to do checks on the interior and exterior of the building to make sure that everything is in order and that there are no maintenance issues that you'd find out only at a later date. Once everything is in order and you've come to an agreement with the seller, you may have a reservation agreement, which basically is used to express your intent to purchase the property and ensure that it is taken off the market while you make your final decision. For the reservation agreement, a fee of between 6,000 and 10,000 will need to be paid, and the terms for the refund will be clearly stated on the agreement. There are two legal stages to the buying process in Portugal. The first is the promissory contract, or CPCV, between the buyer and the seller. This is an interim contract that is legally regulated by the Portuguese Civil Code and that lays out the main terms and conditions of the deal. This includes the identity of both parties and the property, the price, payment terms and conditions, payment dates, and deposit, plus a deadline date for the signing of the final deed and the use of the property in the interim period. The deposit is usually around 10 to 25% of the purchase price, but this can vary depending on the agreement made by the buyer and the seller. Plus, if your Portuguese is not so good, the promissory contract can also be translated into English if required, so you won't have to worry about the language or translation issues. The promissory contract is a legally binding document prepared by a lawyer and needs to be signed by both the buyer and the seller. If the seller backtracks, they'll need to repay twice the deposit the buyer by law, and if the buyer backs out, they'll lose their deposit. And finally comes the signing of the final deed, or escritura. The grand finance. The property ownership is transferred over, and as with the promissory contract, it is signed in front of a Portuguese notary. After this, the final contract is sent to the land registry, and the notary will be issued a stamp of the final deed. Just an FYI, there is a small public fee of €250 for the land registry. And then you have it, you're a property owner. So what is the legal process of buying a property in Portugal? Well, you have the answer now. If you're looking to buy a home here, you can always get in touch with us. We help our clients from sourcing property all the way through to signing the final deed and beyond. We focus completely on the requirements of our clients, and you are always our main focus. Please don't forget to hit like and subscribe. My name is Amy, and this is Goldcrest Insights.